An air of apocalypse. Our house is burning, and we're looking the other way. The ice caps are melting, the oceans are rising, and yet we remain passive. Carbon neutrality is now everywhere, and driving a car has almost become immoral. Environmental activists are forcing their agenda on governments, and some even go as far as suggesting we should stop having children to save the planet. Is that really the solution? Are we all doomed to perish in an imminent climate apocalypse? Introduction. The planet is doomed, that much is certain. Apparently, we must hurry to give up our possessions, rights, and fundamental freedoms so that our governments can stop the Earth from literally boiling. Greta Thunberg, the young climate prodigy, is of course not at all a puppet of the World Economic Forum or the annual COP climate conferences. These summits that flood airports with private jets emitting CO2 are certainly not hypocritical, because they, of course, are part of the solution. Influencers, ever so enlightened, inform us daily about the weather and even go as far as to claim that climate change disproportionately affects LGBTQIA+ communities or that airplane turbulence is caused by climate change. Having children is now considered an immoral act that destroys the planet, unless, of course, it's done through surrogacy after changing gender several times, all financed by the state healthcare system. After all, they say gender has nothing to do with biological sex, right? If even one of these absolute truths bothers you, then you are automatically a filthy climate skeptic, anti-vaxxer, pro-Putin, misogynist, transphobe, and probably racist. You likely refuse to eat insects or soy enriched with microplastics. The moral tribunal of the climate sect has already decided your fate. You must repent, embrace degrowth, and accept your monthly carbon credit, which you can only renew by pleading with your new overlords, those who print fake money to create inflation, have your standard of living, and ruin your health. But don't worry, this time they swear it's for your own good. The climate, like many issues before it, has become an untouchable and sacred topic. You have no choice but to subscribe to this new religion. You are guilty, but in their great mercy, they offer you a path to redemption. Deviate 1 millimeter from the doctrine, and you will face insults, censorship, and personal and economic destruction. The result? Anxious slaves, begging for their own chains, hysterical lobotomized zombies defending the very source of their misery. Newton's laws are absolute: for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. After a few years of absence, the warrior of truth, armed with the most powerful weapon, reality, returns to free you from the grip of the infinite climate tsunami. In this video, or article, we will objectively address the issue of climate change with all the available data, even the ones provided by the IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. You'll find all the sources and timestamps in the description. We will start by analyzing the current state of affairs, look at temperature anomalies since 1850, examine human impacts on the climate, and the predictive models used. Finally, we'll compare apocalyptic predictions with reality and explore the real consequences of the much-lauded goal of carbon neutrality. Chapter 1. The State of Things. Where are we starting from? Let's start with the IPCC, this organization that publishes reports every 6 years, with the most recent, AR6, released in 2021. Each publication of their summary for policymakers is accompanied by an almost obsessive media frenzy because, after all, it's about saving the planet. This report is presented as the pinnacle of climate science, almost like a sacred text delivered to us mere mortals. But before we dive into the details, let's ask ourselves 3 simple questions. Can humans influence the climate, and if so, how? How does the climate respond to this influence compared to natural forces? What will be the scale of this reaction in the future, and what will its impact be on ecosystems and society? The IPCC report, often treated as divine revelation, attempts to answer these questions through complex analysis. But as we delve deeper, it becomes clear that the scientific certainties are far weaker than what's presented to the public.